to the continued superintendence of the registration of national identity and other security electronic acts of our government by someone whom the country has lost confidence in. And we ask the government to go ahead and summon the courage to do the needful. That when people lose confidence in a member of this government, that person should either quit or be fired. I want to reassure Nigerians that going forward from today, that this caucus will continue to meet and will continue to point out to all Nigerians that there is hope when we get out of the problems of today.
So, good evening and welcome everyone to this wonderful evening conversation. As usual, Maz is okay here speaking to you live and direct. Let's see. Let me see my lights. Okay. So, Maz is okay is here speaking to you this evening as my topic suggests. And you can see that there are a couple of things that, as someone already written, Nigeria is a nation that always does your head. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. If you can hear me loud and clear, indicates that you can hear me. And having said that, it would also be nice to know where you are watching me from. Because what we do here is to always analyze what is happening, probably in order to retain our sanity. Because what is happening sometimes can be so overwhelming. So, welcome back. What is happening can be sometimes so overwhelming. So, it would be nice to know where you're watching me from. Mazes, okay, once more here. Okay, I can see Nokwado Odera is saying that is very loud and clear. That is very good. I have a Mac Factor. It appears, those of you who are new to this channel, if you can raise up your hand, I wish I can see you from your bedrooms. I wish I can see you. And, very loud and clear from the United Kingdom. Babatunde Otelaja. Otelaja. Is it Otela? Okay, Babatunde Otelaja. Okay, Babatunde, thank you very much for joining me here. And one of the things, we have to do this evening is to basically review some things that, when I read them, I felt like, what manner of country is this? I have people joining from England, Colorado, UAE. Wow, this is what we call one big family. See, from Belgium. It's funny enough, all the countries people are joining me from are countries that I've actually either lived in, worked in, or visited. Look at that. UAE, USA, the Netherlands. Oh, the Netherlands is my third home, actually. It's in Maastricht. Maastricht. And Belgium, the county of Cannes. Wonderful. Ukraine. Wow, Kyiv. That's good. Drake Pan says, end Nigeria now. I wish it is in our power too. Loud and clear from Winchester, Virginia, USA. People, thank you very much. You all are very lovely people from Texas. Yeehaw! The Tex. Allow me or permit me to call you the Texasians. Oh, watching me from Dublin. Wow, wow, wow. So much love. Just hit the like button. Share this with your friends and family. It's going to be an interesting evening. We will look at so many things. I promise you that. You see the two videos that played before, I showed my face. While the video was playing, I was behind the scene applying makeup, foundation, all whatnot, Mary Kay, and don't take me serious. I'm just trying. Listen, people, we must find a way to, lighten up, because the things coming out of Nigeria, it's honestly, if you ever take them to heart, you might have heart attack. So find a way. Sometimes when I come here, I try to lighten the mood, is because I tell you, you cannot take whatever is happening in that place to heart, or else you risk heart attack. So having done, more people are coming in. Yeah, Ina says, yeah, we are the cowboy. Budapest. Wow, I love Budapest. I love the sculptures of the street. I love, very old city. I love it. Oh, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. That's actually one place I haven't visited. So Samuel, you might have me very soon. Oh, Madrid. Oh, Madrid and Barcelona. I love Spanish people. I love going out for dinner, having my Spanish wine in the evening. Ah, jeez. Corona no go better for you. This is what Corona is depriving me of. Just traveling around the world, enjoying while you work. Michael, thank you very much. Okay, people, let's come down to the meat of the matter. So, hold on. My video is supposed to be HD quality, but the one I'm looking at now doesn't appear to be HD quality. What's happening? What's happened to my 4K camera? Come on. Okay. People, if you think about Nigeria too much, you have, you seem quite like myself, you have bald head. Your hair will begin to fly out of the windows without, before you know it, you have no more hair because of Nigeria. Can you believe that the one who is contesting, or who is planning to contest for the next president, in the person Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is telling you Nigerians that he said that Nigerians will feel safe under Buhari? I'm not making it up. Believe you me, I don't deal with fake news. I'm not making it up. I read it when I was going through some things this evening, and I found that actually, that we published it. And I'm like, really? Nigerians are going to feel safe under Buhari? I'm not kidding you, honestly. Okay, let's see. Let me, they say when you remove when you remove lice from the dog's skin, you need to show it to the dog, because the dog thinks you pinched. So let me show you. Now you can see this is Njenje, right? So look at this. Tinubu taunts Nigerians, say they will feel safe under Buhari's government. Another, a clear throat. Okay, let's see. The national leader of the All Progressive Congress (APC), Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has said Nigerians should not worry anymore, as they will feel safe under the President Buhari government. The media can report, blah, 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 yati. Now, here, the former Lagos State Governor, while speaking during the special Ramadan prayer after on Sunday at the Lagos House in Marina, Tinubu said Nigeria will feel safe under President Muhammadu Buhari. According to Tinubu, blah, blah, blah. And then here, we know what it started. No, we know when it started, but we don't want to give excuses. This government will perform, Nigeria will be safe and be happy. Papa Jesko would when he reads something like this, he would do OGB, GB, 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 GB. This government has less than 14 months to go. Less than 14 months to go, right? That is what this government has. Less than 14 months to go. This government has less than 14 months to go. And this is what Tinubu is telling you, that this government is, that they know. OGB, GB, 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 GB. I feel like something is cracking. This government has less than 18 months, sorry, less than 18 months in proper, governance here. Then you ask yourself, how come does he not live in, hold on. Let me be very clear here, people. Does he not live in Nigeria? Let's go back to this. Let me show us something. This is what he said. Now he goes for there is the twist and tone in democracy. We just have to build, tolerate each other, and express love and harmony. Okay, I want to express love, people. I'm a farmer. My farm is in Ogun State. I want to express love. I want to live in harmony. I plant my maize, I plant my cassava, plant my whatever. And someone gets his or her cows, strays into my farmland, eats up my crop, and you're telling me peace and love. And he continues again, while noting that while the security issue has its own perspective, Tinubu warns against those politicizing insecurity. Papa Jasko, where are thou? You kind of wonder, how did we get here? You see, the thing why things are not getting right is very simple. Why we're not getting it right is because those that ought to speak truth to power are not doing it. Those that are not speaking, that ought to speak truth to power, are not doing it. That's why things are not getting better. Before now, I played us the video of our Engineer Baribe requesting, and that is their job actually, requesting that this guy we called Pantami should go. Are we talking about insecurity? Let me show us actually, because if somebody is telling you that we will feel safe, in the last 6 years, at what point have we actually felt safe? At what point did we feel safe? Now let me show us. I think the other time I showed us the clip of these mercenaries, right, who came to rout out Boko Haram from the land. And this is what the man who was part of them said when they came in to rout out Boko Haram in Nigeria. Then you keep wondering if he is saying this, that when they were about routing out Boko Haram, they were stopped. And you ask yourself, why is the same person or the same people, basically who are the same people, why are they not giving you that protection that is needed, that they promised, and that they promised you? Why? Hold on, I don't know what's happening here. I hope my stream is on. Sorry about that. Okay, Chid is listening. I think there is something, I don't want, let me not say something, but I think this is an attack. This is an attack because my internet is spot on, but something, I don't know if they have Chidi is calling me. Hold on. Let me put Chidi, you're live. Chidi, you're live. Hello, Chidi. Chidi, I can hear you.
Are you back?
Yes, I'm back. I can hear you.
Are you back?
Yes, I'm back. I'm live now.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, man. Now the same thing they do me.
There must be something. We need to figure it out. See, people. Now, this is the CEO of Worship Media. He actually telling me that some similar thing happened to him. I have a very stable system. I mean, without sounding, one of the best MacBooks you can think of. But sadly, and this is happening when you are in the middle of something very serious. Now, I have here Ikenna Ihechere, who says, I was a student at Tafa Balewa University when Pantami caused a religious. So if Ikenna, if you want to share that testimony, if you want to show your face like myself, is a risk in Nigeria. Ungun men from the government can actually pick you up if you are brave enough to do that, or maybe a men non-government can. So that's by the way. So coming back to what I was talking about before, because this internet can actually throw you off balance. What I was trying to say, aside what Tinubu was saying, I want to play us a video of Buhari, what he himself said about Boko Haram. Not now, this is not anything.
Postpone election.
Okay, to give context here, this is our president now, Muhammadu Buhari. This was in 2015 when election was postponed. This interview, I believe, was granted by Deutsche Welle, the German radio TV station, the Deutsche Welle. And he was asked what his views on Boko Haram. But pay attention, the answer he will give. This is an ex-general. Pay attention, the answer he will give.
Because of 14 local governments.
See? So because of 14 local governments, they were postponing election. In his view, I mean, he is a freedom. He has the right to express himself in that manner. But in his views, it wasn't right to postpone election because of 14 local governments, right?
What would you do about it if they did postpone?
Well, what my party will do, mostly.
So what my party will do, that is what Tinubu, Akande, and all of them will do, yes.
My party's decision, not mine. Thank you very much.
Sorry, about Boko Haram, the election commission says Boko Haram is the main reason they're doing this.
Okay, now, the reporter, that's why sometimes people run away, because when you squeeze people, really, get the opportunity to squeeze people. These are great men that I like the way they ask questions respectfully, but they squeeze out those questions. They asked him, what will you do about it? Boko Haram. And here is what the president now said. See, read what is written there. He said that in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Syria, they are fighting wars and they conducted election. Just opposing this with what Tinubu said, because this is a promise. Now, let's hear him. The next thing he will now say.
Fighting wars and conducting election. What is Boko Haram?
What is Boko Haram? Meaning, Boko Haram, na small fikin. Na akwai nyarinya na small fikin. Boko Haram was so tiny, so minute, that he could just basically take them off. Question is, why are they not taking them off? And the challenge is that we are no longer fighting Boko Haram, actually. We are fighting Boko Haram, we are fighting banditry, and I think sometimes some of us, in order to simplify this, will make this grave mistake of lumping all of them into one. They're not all one and the same. Yes, you have the killer headsmen, the terrorist headsmen invading us from outside the, from other countries. You have the Boko Harams, you have the ISWAP, you have the Ansarus. You have, so by the time you know, only from a certain region, you have, you know, about 5 groups. Because if you have the ISIS, ISWAP, Ansaru, Boko Haram, Jesus Christ. But the response from your president was this.
Fighting wars and
You're
conducting
fighting war.
elections. What is Boko Haram?
What is Boko Haram? Ah, Boko Haram, kai, na small boy. What's in that's a yarrow? What's in you go do? Make it a go. What is Boko Haram? Very, 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 very. You see, reason why I'm taking my time to do all these things is to now tell us, in all these things, every day, you appear more insecure in the entity. Every single day, you appear. Now, I think I showed us a video the other time, even when El-Rufai himself was of the same opinion, because if these people never won, if they never took over, you never understood what was happening. Now, listen to what El-Rufai also.
Praising them and say that, oh, terrorism is happening. Jonathan is doing nothing. Well done, Jonathan. Are we supposed to?
Okay, so it was a case of incompetence
We
that
are not
they
supposed to.
were
Our job
doing
is
nothing.
to look at even good things that they are doing and say they are not doing it well. That is the
You see, their job was to look at even the good things that they were doing. That's where you and I were sold adakanon. People were sold dummy. He was saying it, but many people didn't even, I believe at this point, even Soran Sarah Reporter didn't understand, didn't contextualize what he was saying. Even when it is right, and just say, look, and the same Lai Mohammed, is it Lai Mohammed or Liar or BSS, please? Is Amibo in pronunciation. So I don't know if it's Lai Mohammed or Liar Mohammed. So forgive me. Or maybe it's even Rai Mohammed. So I don't know. Whether someone says it's a continuous tense, it's a lying Mohammed. But whichever Mohammed it is, but let's say it's El Mohammed. Even telling you when PDP, after their press conference yesterday, saying, okay, we don't want to do politics, we want to work together to fix things that are broken. And they said, no, you're still playing politics with it. You ask yourself, that manner of olive branch, was that ever extended to the other parties when they were in governance? Now, let's go back and listen to El-Rufai more.
job of opposition. So we have no apologies for pointing out to Nigerians that this government is incompetent and has failed to provide security. If you say we are politicizing it, fix the problem so that we can't politicize it. Okay?
Lai Mohammed, exactly what he just said now, it was what Lai Mohammed was tweeting, or rather said this evening, that the PDP were politicizing the insecurity. El-Rufai, what are you going to tell PDP? El-Rufai, let me ask you this question. Be honest. If PDP is politicizing insecurity, what will you tell them?
That we can't politicize it. Okay? Are we politicizing breathing of air? Every Nigerian can breathe air. We can't politicize it because there is no problem there. But if you fail to supply petroleum products and we say you are failing, you say we are politicizing it. Fix the problem so that we don't politicize it. If you say that there is terrorism, we are politicizing it, eliminate terrorism. 5 years ago, nobody is talking about terrorism in Nigeria. Under Jonathan.
Okay. 5 years ago in 2000, and that was 2015, minus 5 years, that was 2010. Yes, terrorism was beginning then. Question that I would now want to ask is, based on what Tinubu is saying that you will feel safe, do you believe that you will feel safe? Now, add 5 years, 6 years now, getting to 7 years that you have been in power, is anything changed?
It has become an industry.
Oh, now that it has become an industry. It's very good. Yes, it has become an industry. So what else has it become?
We should not take advantage advantage of their failings so that we secure the votes of Nigerians in the next elections? There must be something wrong with them. We have made suggestions.
Okay, you made suggestion to the former government and they didn't listen. So why didn't you implement the suggestions?
To the government on how to improve security. They have ignored it. They have.
So it means if you made suggestions to previous government and they ignored it, it means in common sense you also ignored your own suggestions.
Different committees that have given them recommendations how to address this problem of terrorism in the last 3 years.
So why are you not addressing your own, the paper, the white paper, the brilliant positions you took? Why are you not addressing them?
They are incompetent.
Keto calling which one? Pot, black. If the previous government is incompetent, then this one is incompetenter and incompetest.
But they try to blame other people.
So at this stage that we are right now with terrorism in Nigeria, what do you think is the solution, especially on how to rescue the girls?
Look, the government has the solution to this problem. Several committees have given them recommendations. They should just...
The government has solution to this. So can I paraphrase Erufai? If the previous government was incompetent, this one is competent, competenter, incompetent, incompetentest. Nigeria not go kill me. Wallah, I will find a time. I will find something to laugh at, because you can't make these things up. Honestly, you cannot make these things up. The previous government was incompetent. You knew all the answers. Now implement those answers. Or God, waiting up and tell us.
Implement the recommendations in their drawer. Okay. As for rescuing the girls, we have seen examples of what countries do.
You've seen examples of what countries do. But now your state of Kaduna has become the headquarters of mass kidnapping. Imagine for 1 second, just like my good friend Andele Mahmoud was saying over the weekend. On Sunday, he's what I call his Sunday. I think we posted it. I spoke to him and he gave us the authority to repost that post because I loved that conversation. If you haven't, go to this channel. It was posted, I can't remember, maybe a day or two ago. Dele was saying, think for 1 second, the logistic of moving over 300 people. These were these questions that some of us were asking at the beginning, when these Chibok girls were kidnapped. And they say, oh, they were doubting. No one is doubting that those girls were taken. But it's just that it does not make sense to think that if you take a 1414, you know how big 1414, I mean, if you take an LO300, for instance, LO300 is about 12, 14 seaters. If you take a normal GU luxurious bus, it's about 50 people. So imagine where you take how many of them to move these girls. So no matter how you look at it, if you take Okada to move them, for argument's sake, let's say that you force them, the driver, that is the kidnapper driver, the two girls. So no how, you have about 150 to 160 Okada line. No matter how you think about it, it boggles the mind to think that sheer incompetence will drive a nation, that something like this will be happening. Over 300 people, no one has phone to ring to get help. Oh, Jesus. I think, listen, never ever pray that you never get kidnapped. It's not a good ordeal. My brother was a victim, and that time is an ordeal I wish not even my enemies not to have. I'm not playing down this, but when you look at the lives and the tragedy of these people, you wonder that a nation that has failed them. And this man is here talking about how the previous government was incompetent and how they give it. Talk is cheap. Now, your state has become. You have overtaken Nasarawa and Katsina. You are now the kidnapping capital of Nigeria. You have. That is what you are. KKN, kidnapping capital of KCN, kidnapping capital of Nigeria. That's what you become.
When this situation happens, you should have military action on the one hand and negotiation on the other hand. You should not foreclose anything because the lives of your citizens are at risk and you don't want to.
So why are you foreclosing stuff now? You see, it's always easy to talk is cheap.
You don't want to lose the life of one person. You don't want to lose the life of 250 girls. So whatever it takes to rescue those girls should be done. If one of these girls was Jonathan's daughter, the story will be different. The only reason why
Liz Chukwu says is kidnapping capital of the world. I don't know about the world. At least I don't. Let me talk about the one I know, because what is happening in Syria, Afghanistan, Sudan, Yemen probably could be more. I don't know. But the one that we know in Nigeria, by the virtue of what we published on our website, the news we get every day, the scanning, it is unbelievable. It is mind-boggling.
Captivity is because they are not the daughter of any important man.
You see? So, Oga, by your own words, so the people in your state, kidnapped from your state, the Greenfield University, that are still in captivity. So you just told us now the reason why they are in captivity is not because they are not your children. Okay, do you agree? Okay, why are they in captivity? Tell us.
They are not the daughter of any important man in Nigeria, and we know it.
So the reason why you left them in captivity is because, if I ask you again, will you repeat? Yeah? Okay, tell us.
Daughter of any important man in Nigeria, and we know it. And if you say
I didn't say it though. Who is the one saying it?
So that I don't have a basis to politicize it.
So are you in support of negotiation?
I am in support of every option. When you have lives of your citizens at risk, you should not take any option off the table. You should be flexible. You should listen. You should negotiate and look at the price you have to pay. And
Go and Google this article from this day. A very brilliant article, written sometime last month. It's called "Security Has Never Been This Bungled in Nigeria." Just Google it. Security has never been this bungled in Nigeria. This is the article you're looking at there from this day. It's a very fantastic article. And you just understand how we bungle these things. And those of you watching might say, how did they do that? I will show you how.
Get those girls out.
You
should not say you won't do this or you won't do that. This is irresponsible.
I will show you how. I will show you how. Because these things, these things sometimes can be really, 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 really be how do I put it? It can really mess you up. You can really, okay, this is how they bungle it. Let's see. Now, again.
Terrain. We would try.
Okay, let me give insight here. This is a South African mercenary. This is an interview with Al Jazeera. Again, this is where he's trying to explain how this government bungled, as the article suggests there, the wiping off of these guys that are terrorizing. Okay, how did that happen? Well, yes.
In the division, in situ, in defensive positions, etc. But we were never allowed to execute the entire operation. So
So why wouldn't you've come in, you've been paid, because he's a subcontractor. You understand what a subcontractor is. You have a contractor who you say, okay, Oga, come. In Nigerian parlance, a subcontractor is, if when during the time of Lekki, the guy having machete is a subcontractor. Those ones in Abuja using stick to, those ones are foot soldiers. So the ones that brought them are the subcontractors. From the Oga who got the contract from the Aso on the Rock. From Aso on the Rock, the headquarters, they will get the contract and they will come and subcontract it. That's what this man was.
We took back terrain larger than Belgium from Boko Haram. We were not allowed to finish because it came at a time when governments were in the process of changing I think President Jonathan's government possibly saw the entire Boko Haram contract, if we call it that, almost as a last gasp in order to regain popularity. The incoming president, President Buhari, was heavily supported by a foreign government, and one of the first missions was to terminate our contract.
Could you name that foreign government?
Yes, we were told it was the United States,
yeah, we know that.
and they had actually funded President Buhari's campaign. The campaign manager for President Buhari came from the US, and I'm not saying that the United States is bad. I understand foreign interests, but I would have thought that a threat such as Boko Haram on the integrity of the state of Nigeria ought to be actually a priority. It wasn't.
Why do you think the US would intervene to abort such operation?
Again, I can't answer that. I think that the US can answer, but what I've come to realize, that is when a government's foreign interests clash with the state's own domestic interests, conflict is bound to ensue. And those conflicts usually just continue with no end. And we can look at all the conflicts in Africa where foreign forces have come in, they've prolonged those conflicts, they haven't ended those conflicts. And the amount of money and manpower and equipment thrown at those conflicts says to me that something is wrong if no end result is achieved. And surely that end result should be to end the conflict and establish a basis for negotiations, come to an agreement, and then re-establish governance. But that's not what's happening in Africa.
How much did you charge the Nigerian government?
Well, first of all, we didn't charge the Nigerian government.
It's that one is not relevant here, how much you charge, but the bottom line is that imagine these things I'm saying. Now, all these things, the sequence, how we got into this mess is in the public domain. But now someone is trying to tell you that after 6 years of this pure madness, that's what's going to happen. That we'll have peace. That suddenly the magic one will just come and everything will now become an Eldorado. Come on. Come on now. Come on. You know, sometimes you just look at these things, you just keep wondering to yourself. Everywhere. Now, go down to the Yoruba nation, you will see an interception that happened where people were invading and they were intercepted. I know a lot of video making round. There is one when, you know, in white truck where people were like, it's like a Dangote cement, whatever, people sharing it saying it's you know, people invading South. No, that's not Nigeria. That's if you listen there, if you have patience, you listen, it says Lusaka. So Google, you know where Lusaka is. Lusaka is not in Nigeria. But this one is, I think, happened 2 days ago in the southwest Nigeria, where people are going in to go and do training. Say, which training are they going to? In another man's territory. Imagine some Yoruba youths now caught in Kano, in, you know, about 200 of them going in to go and do training. Is it to defend the Yorubas in Kano or what? You think I'm making it up? Okay, let's bring them on. Let's see what is going to happen. Because these things, you know, these things, sorry. You know, these things, the way they happen, you just keep wondering why. Because you can't even make it up. You can't, honestly, you can't make it up. Hold on, let me look for the video. But in nowadays, one good thing is that everyone is saying, okay, everyone is now suddenly saying you can defend yourself, at least self-defense. You're not the aggressor.
Invaders were spotted in Okidipupa last Thursday, and their arrival created unnecessary tension in the town. The chairman, Amotekun Corp, Adetuji Adeleye, said their agent claimed that they were in the state to be trained as security guards. The Amotekun boss, who disclosed that the suspected invaders were from Kano and Jigawa states, explained that their mission in Ondo state was not clear. He said after a series of interrogation, it was discovered that majority of them do not even know how they got to Ondo state.
This journalism. You people should stop this rubbish. Are they being ferried spiritually? Can you say an adult that took his bath, entered the vehicle, came into your Ondo, and you're saying they didn't know how they got in there?
Assure the people of the state that government is firmly on ground in conjunction with other security agencies.
Upon profiling, we found out that majority of them don't even know how they got to where they got to. All they were told is they were going for training. Training by who, for who, and whatsoever, we did not know.
The State Commissioner for Information, Donald Ojogo, described the situation the state has found itself in the last 72 hours as a very precarious one.
In the last 72 hours was a very precarious one. If not that it was discreetly and professionally handled and well managed.
One of the suspected invaders explained their mission in the state.
The security agent that will be that will carry on this activity.
We come and endorsed for training for 2 days training, 2 weeks training.
We come and inducted, whatever that means, I don't know, for 2 days training, for 2 weeks training. Which one? Is it 2 days or 2 weeks? And for what purpose?
Training for the oil company. Which
Training for oil company. You're going to be the gas pipeline engineer. We will refine the... That's a joke. Yeah, come. You want to come and work for you?
Join for our organization.
They have since been escorted by the officers of the Amateku Corps to the state boundary. From Akure, the Ondo state capital, Jonah Omo.
You see, the funny thing is, you would escort them to the boundary because that's the essence. Nigeria remains a federation. So they came to work at the oil company, but now the oil, it's probably the oil is dry, so no oil company to work now. They are just, you're just going, and that's it. You hand them back. You just send them, okay, go home, go back. How are you sure that they would actually come back? Probably they were flagged up because they were in such large number. If they begin to enter 3344, 33 or whatever, nobody. But I don't know the oil company. So many of you watching from Ondo here, you can actually tell us which oil company that you people have in Ondo that they are coming to work for. And what could that be that they're actually coming to do? And sometimes you think you've seen it. Again, you move again. This is government trying to make nothing obviously work. The other time it was Mbaka versus Hope Uzodimma. Today, it's this person versus the other person in the House of Assembly. It's suddenly you see Smart Ade crying that the insecurity in the nation is getting out of hand. What can he do? He can only cry.
We cannot keep quiet any longer. It has gotten to a point that we cannot sleep with our 2 eyes closed. No. We are not free. Our children are not free.
Now, since this is what he's saying, juxtapose this with what he's just saying. Juxtapose it with what Bola Ahmed Tinubu is saying. Both of them are in the APC. He can go home. He can. If he does, the people might have a meat pie to eat. But Tinubu is telling you that Nigerians will feel safe under Buhari, and they haven't felt safe under Buhari in the last 6 years. So I don't know, is it the 18 months that is remaining? Because if you actually want to be very, very heavy on it, by May 2022 is game over. Nothing, anything that concerns governance is kaput. It's not going to happen. All you will say is 2023. The government is coming, 2023. Vote for government. Go for the other one. Go for the other one. That's the kind of stories we'll be hearing. But here is someone who is in the Senate saying it that they can no longer go home.
The president must rise to the occasion. There's no nation that is so powerful that doesn't need support of other nations. Individual cannot say you will leave the world without any other person with you. So we must rise. The situation is priority of Nigeria in African nation. Today we are facing serious problem. If our nation is to survive this period, I'm not in doubt that the security architecture we have today cannot cope with what we are facing. Every part of this country is threatened. From the north to the south, nobody is safe. Nobody can travel 50 kilometers in our nation. I feel like shedding tears for a country that we grew up, where nobody harasses you when you travel from Lagos to Maiduguri.
It's actually, you know, it's actually sad. It's actually sad. That statement he made there, if we reflect on it, is actually sad. I am one person who loves traveling. I remember the time we could, you know, travel from Enugu via Ubora for Otukpo, Zakibian, Wokari, Yola, Mobi, Taraba. Huh? Just go that stretch. You know, if you travel to Lagos on your way back, is a time to buy gari and buy plantain towards Biniagbo. It's a tragedy that today no one. The farthest many can travel is maybe from Asaba Airport to your house, or where airport. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. Insecurity everywhere. If it's not bandit, it is ISWAP. If it's not ISWAP, it is ISIS. If it's not ISIS, it's Ansari. If it's not Ansari, it is killer headsmen with AK-47. If it is not them, then probably it is the ungunned men. Haba. In one country, I mean, we are just basically, the whole thing is getting out of hand. And yet, all these things happening, what they want to tell you is that you feel safe.
This is my position, Mr. President. We must rise to it. They are killing people in the east, in the west, in the south, in the north. We should shut down the National Assembly. Let's shut down. If we cannot save this country, we stay in our homes.
You know, this one is, you must join Nollywood. Go to Desmond Elliott. He will do a script. I'll write a script. By the way, I used to write for scripts for Tales by Moonlight then for NTA. So write a script. They would audition you. If you want to show your protest, stop taking your salary for 1 month as a protest. But you won't now, because all of you are businessmen who just gone there to do the, to line up your pockets. So, but again, when Nigerians, somebody, who is it? Timilade saying people should, expected that millions of Nigeria will, I don't know where you're writing from. Millions of Nigeria come. Didn't you see what happened in NSAS? NSAS happened. They imported hoodlums. But the good thing is, as long as many people and everybody is now speaking up, yes, we know that the one in charge has ear problem. Or maybe one of it was blocked when the last time he was in London. We don't know. But at least it appears the heat in the kitchen.
Our country is bleeding. People are in poverty. There's no food. People are hungry. Insecurity is threatening us. We cannot pretend. It's better we are not here. That's the next thing that here. People are dying. Every day Nigerians are dying. We must rise to the occasion. And submit, Mr. President.
After submission, Oga, what will happen? That's the thing. After submission, and so what? You know, sorry to say this, we have men who are incapable because of politics of calling a spade a spade. If you say the government has failed, after this your theater that could win you, and theatrics that could win you an Oscar or an African version of Oscar, Nollywood or Kaduna Wood, whichever would, you could as well have gone ahead and say, I here submit, that the president, the commander-in-chief, should resign. Or you can write an impeachment motion and go to the House and say, based on these facts. But none of you will do it, because if you do, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. And also, when you look at it, I mean, just like, I think this morning on Kakaki, I saw Femi Fani-Kayode. He also made a brilliant submission.
We'll be praising them and say that, oh, terrorism is happening. Jonathan.
Femi also made brilliant submission. Let me speak out and let me just get this is his video. Just listen to Femi.
People doing, because he said it's also a problem of leadership and followership. What exactly are the people doing really that is contributing to this a problem that you think the people should desist from doing? And then, so respond to that first.
That's a great question. Well, the first thing they're doing is not recognizing the challenges that we're facing. I mean, look, there's a very, very high level of delusion in this country.
Well, let me stop Femi and bring someone in. Thank you very much. Amaka said, I stumbled on this channel today and you're really loving it. I appreciate that. Here we try to make issues current and analyze them and speak truth to power. Sometimes Dino Malaya says, Dino Malaya says, if you talk, you die. If you no talk, you die. Kukuma talk now. So if not, they say all die and I die. Okay. So at the end of the day, honestly, the whole thing that happens in Nigeria just makes you crazy.
That, it can never happen to us. Things will not fall apart. We won't witness genocide here. Well, you've been witnessing genocide in other parts of your country for the last 5 years. You didn't say a word. Until it gets to your doorstep, you won't talk. And this is the problem with Nigeria and Nigeria.
Femi, and that's where I agree with Femi here. Because when this thing happens, the moment we begin to detach ourselves and look at it as a northern problem, a southern problem, leave them now, Yoruba, they say na Yoruba now, they know they agree. They did us this the other time, you see, it's good for them. Listen, if they finish Yoruba land, you're next. Middle Belt is the same thing. Middle Belt, they fought against us. They killed us in 1967. 1967 is gone. The calculations of 1967 is no longer the calculation of today. You have and you know where the threat is coming from. So if you can't come together to unite and have a common front to confront the monster, it's going to consume you. When it started, many people thought, oh, it's Northeast, blah, leave Northeast, let them destroy their distance. Listen, it happened in Northeast. The Northeast is the level of destruction is unbelievable. The destructions happen. Suddenly, it gets into Northwest. Look, Sokoto, and what's it called? The Sokoto Caliphate with the Sultan. Everyone is crying. Oh, this thing is getting out of hand. This thing is getting out of hand. This, that, yati, yada, and of course, it's getting out of hand. But the bottom line is, it's always good to stop these things when they are still brewing, not to let these things get out of hand, because when they do, as they say in Igbo, once they affect the eyes, or once they affect the nose, already is close to the eyes, and they will definitely affect the eyes. So let's take one more. Let's have more listen to Femi here.
That, it really doesn't matter as long as it doesn't come to me, my town, my household, or my family. The reality, though, is that over the last 5 years, the people of Benue have been experiencing genocide. The people of Zamfara have been experiencing genocide. All over the north, Taraba, Adamawa, all over the north where I live, a genocide has been experienced morning, day, and night. Mass murder, killing, ethnic cleansing. This has now moved down past the Middle Belt, through the core north, past the Middle Belt, down into the south. You go to the east, you go to the southwest, you go to the south-south. It's now all over the country. And now people are beginning to wake up. I think it's rather late. But I think what people need to understand is, you need to be sensitive to the times. You need to understand what's going on. You need to recognize the fact that, look, if something isn't done fast by all of us, and we don't all come together and forget these very petty divisions and understand the barbarians are at the gate, we are going to end up having, the kind of conflict that we have never had in this country before. Now, let me tell you, said what should people do? The first thing is we need to continue to urge our government and our presidents to do better. The second thing is we need to understand that coming together is very important, because what's going on is that ethnic divisions and religious divisions are being fueled by those from outside, mainly foreign Fulanis and many foreign fighters that are fighting with Iswa and Boko Haram, to cause us to turn on one another and begin to kill ourselves. And the first thing we need to do is resist that temptation of falling into that trap and saying, I'm going to begin to attack anybody that's not part of my ethnic group and so on and so forth. That's part of what I call sense.
And you see, again, I think Liz Chuku made a very interesting point. You can see that on the screen. And she said, I feel that many have not healed from the Biafran war. So there is a bitterness about it. Our humanity seems to have been diluted somewhat. Yes, I do agree. And and this is something that not many people would understand. This statement is so deep, so deep. I was telling somebody the other, a very long time, I said, when I speak to and interview people who were involved in the Nigerian civil war, from both sides, both the eastern side, the west, the north, honestly, the level of bitterness that I hear that they say in private can be really, really suffocating. And I say, if many of the things you see happening now under this government is as a result of the war. You can deny it, you can accept it, but I know what I'm talking about. If anything has to happen, no one who was involved in that war should ever have any position of governance, because the level of bitterness from all sides. But again, it doesn't mean that when you talk about forgiving, and again, without throwing blames here and there, but you can also see that there were the policies that ought to have made this reconciliation, reconstruction, rehabilitation, blah, blah, blah. It didn't happen. Maybe it's a Nigerian thing that nothing ever gets, they never get anything right. Maybe it's a Nigerian thing, I don't know. Or maybe it was something deliberate, which I tend to believe more that it's something really, really deliberate, that it didn't happen in that way. Someone says they are shedding crocodile tears. Oh, there. I mean, obviously I do agree, but let me quickly run out.
Sensitizing people to the realities on the ground. We need to identify the common enemy. We need to fight the Fulani herdsmen. We need to, within the forests of the Southwest.
Again, and Femi went on and on and on. What am I saying here, people? It is delusional if anyone is telling you who have been in power for 6 years, and if someone is telling you that, you're going to wait, something is going to happen, and you're like, how? If I may ask, how would that happen? If I would take Tinubu's suggestion, I would say, how? Oga Tinubu, how would you think this was going to be possible? Because it's not going to be possible. There is no way that you can think that, somehow everything would eventually play out properly. By just mouthing it. So, I don't see how you can make real progress where a government has consistently failed in all they say. They came in, They say people returned looted fund. We will publish it. Till today, no name of those who looted money, those who returned it, and those who did anything. Even some, that's why people can say, well, those money that were returned are being re-looted. You can't, in the absence of verifiable information, it becomes very, very difficult for people to argue with facts, because these facts is either you're hiding it from the people or you deliberately don't want to show it to the people. The whole thing becomes convoluted. In one of the videos, I think by former presidential aspirant from Enugu State called Onovo, and there was an interview by Sahara TV, and he had the following to say.
That the media has not given appropriate attention. Kau Baraje Alaji was a leading chieftain of the APC, and he has confessed that they imported the foreign mercenaries who have become bandits. He has confessed. How much more evidence do you need? He has confessed that they imported them for the elections. This is public. Why is the media not following up? Why are we not asking for accountability? So it seems very clear to me and to so many others. If you're in the public space, you hear people talking and pointing fingers. The ruling party is the direct sponsor of terrorism and insecurity in Nigeria. My name is Martin Onovo. I said it. APC is the direct sponsor of insecurity and terrorism in Nigeria. Ask me for the evidence. What are the facts?
Anyway,
I just gave you confession.
To serve again for a...
So now, in all this, I believe Buhari would have responded in this way. You've really heard whatever has been said, and
we have got the opportunity to serve again for additional 4 years. And Nigerians will know the difference.
I believe you now know the difference. And in the words of Tinubu, the difference is where Tinubu is telling you that everything is going to be fine again. Where it's, these things, you can't make them up. Nigerians will feel safe under this government. And Tinubu is saying it. I don't know if while he was saying it, if you ever thought for 1 second, in 5 years, 6 years, 7, 10 years, that these things can be brought back again and shown to him. How? How can you be, telling people that they will be? It's just a question of, to me, just a question of giving people, virtually false hope. If the head of the army, the head, is telling you, or the head of the security is telling you to defend yourself, and you think it gets to a point that someone is telling you, yes, defend yourself. If somebody is coming to your house, defend yourself.
Is it the responsibility of the military alone? It's the responsibility of everybody to keep alert and find safety when necessary. But we shouldn't be...
And, sorry, because when you look at this is not any other person. Look at his title there. General. He's a major general. Bashir. Now, and he is a minister.
Find safety.
Of defense. He's telling you, defend yourself. Now, let us come, many of you that did political science and maybe understand politics, if you understand what is being referred to as social contract, where you yield your powers to the state, then for the state to provide services to you, which includes your rights and protections for submitting your rights to them. By this mere statement of the Minister of Defense, what it means is that the rights in that article of faith that you have given to the state amounts to nothing because they cannot protect you. It means, the boy run now like this, so we can't do anything because you have to protect yourself. And honestly, without being too dangly here, it's sad to
when necessary. But we shouldn't be cowards. At times, the banditry will only come with about 3 rounds of ammunition. When they fire shot, everybody runs. In our younger days, we stand to fight any aggression coming to us. I don't know why people are running away from minor thing like that. They should stand and let these people know that even the villagers, they have the competence and capability to defend themselves. But our own duty is to ensure no Nigerian is hurt and we're capable of.
You see, sorry, Minister, but it's just absolute rubbish. Sorry, but it just talked to rubbish. If your duty is to ensure that no Nigeria is hurt, why should the same Nigerian bother about defending themselves? You just basically contradicted yourself and invalidated your previous statement, making whatever you just said now out of rubbish. Sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but there is no other word that I can use to qualify and to explain what you just said now. Ah, Jesus Christ. Amaka and Liz, I can see you're enjoying it. So Amaka, I hope you've subscribed to this channel. Make sure you put the notification bells. Some of you and many of you watching now that haven't subscribed to this channel, it doesn't cost you anything. Just subscribe, hit the like button, share the video, let others enjoy this conversation. And eventually, in a couple of minutes, I'll just open the phone line and see if you guys want to make contributions. You can, maybe for 10 minutes, we'll roll with that. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is that I find it and the smacks. Yeah, Maka, thank you very much for that subscribe. And I found it a little bit insulting. Maybe not a little bit, really, really insulting. When I hear people like Tinubu now saying that this nation is going to be safe. I don't know. How is that what you're going to say? People don't know at this moment. Intention means absolute jackal. It means nothing. Intentions are no longer enough. What the people want is your ability to say, your ability to do what we want to see. You see these BK boys, BH boys, they are lining up to attack a village. Take them out from the air. That's all. He said, I don't know. Is it too much to do? Just take them out. Take them out. Show their bodies as trophies. While you engage in other mental rehabilitation, blah, blah, yati, yati, whatever. But you must negotiate from a point of strength. Let's listen to the Minister of Defense, but I think he's just talking
protecting the integrity of this nation.
Shut up. Which integrity? You just use that word. Use that word. This is the word you guys used in it, scamming Nigerians. Not me, but those that didn't understand what was happening. Those that didn't understand what was happening. They tell you integrity. Allah, integrity, my foot. Integrity. If now my village people now, they say integrity, my integrity will go chop. And the saddest part is, we keep talking about the political elite. But this problem is in all strata. I said I've done 3 videos on Mbaka. I no longer want to do that. But before, there is something that just occurred to me. During the time Hope Uzodinma 2019 went to Mbaka, They actually promised to build a hospital. I don't know if I can get the video. I don't know if many of you remembered. They actually promised to build a hospital there. Question is, if you then ask them now, what happened to that hospital? That is on the realm of governance. No truth. They don't do things that they promised that they will do. That is on the realm of governance. Now, just oppose that to the people themselves. The civil servants, one of my friends, maybe he's watching, Victor Davis, always called them the evil servants. The remaining ones that the politicians have taken, they will now come and destroy. If not, if the politicians are serious, they can actually start jailing people, what they call ghost workers. Ghost workers are not, that doesn't mean they are juju. They are juju workers, they are ghosts. They are just like Willy Willy, or they are my people are from Midwest. I'll be part of now what I'm about to say so that you don't get offended. You know, when Midwest, Republic of Midwest come, I told you will give me, even if an artificial passport. But they are not people like, that from Benin that fly at night. You know what I mean? I was told that's why Benin Airport is not working, because everybody has a runway at their own backyard. That's a joke. Don't take offense, please. My Edo people, I hear the reason why your airport is not working is because all of you can fly. All of you are pilots. Landing at the back of your house. Some of you land in Zahazaru. Sorry. Pardon me. So having said that, it brings me to, looking at the issue of Mbaka, how he was scammed by now the governor. They said they were going to build this house for him, do the other one, but at the end of the day, it turned out a scam. But looking at it, that is on a government level. Then you move to the civil servants actually doing was than the government themselves have done. And more than, doing more damage than the government are doing. There was a BBC interview this morning that I found very, very interesting. I hope, I will, use the material because it will help us drive down this explanation of what I'm saying here. And in this BBC, documentary about the Nigerian pension, I watched it. It really, some of you who have worked internationally, or some of you watching me from the diaspora today, if you watch this, you ask yourself, you work in Germany, Belgium, America, wherever, and you wake up one day, you no longer have a pension. The pension office says you are dead, and they give you these papers in your face proving that you are dead. How would you feel? How can a system treat people so badly? And you go, you kind of wonder, why would they still want to give their best for that same nation? These are cumulative effects. No child that will see her mom, her dad, that have taught him or her how to be upright, how to, not steal, not do this, not do the other one. Imagine what that child will say. Oh, mama, in all you gave this nation, you didn't really pay much attention to me while I was growing up because you dedicated so much of your life to this job you did for this nation, and this is how you've been paid back. Why wouldn't they agitate? Why wouldn't they say break the nation today or tomorrow morning? Because even they can see it, even if they are not working, they can see it that the system has failed and the system is still failing them, and the system failed their parents. Watch. Because
into a pension scheme your entire life, you expect to get paid when you retire.
We have registered our grievances.
Yes.
The whole world is aware of what is happening today.
Yes.
Across Nigeria, many elderly people are being denied their state pensions for bizarre reasons.
So your name here is on this list, sir, that says that you are dead. That's the list.
I'm not dead, madam.
Okay, look, this is a pensioner. Look into his eyes. I mean, it feels like, makes me, I mean, it's emotional. It's emotional. Look at this man. The reporter there is looking at him, and the document he's holding says, "Oh, guy, you are dead, or you already." I mean, look at him. Literally.
I can see that you're alive.
They're expected to pay officials to initiate their pensions, while others are raking it in.
4, 5. It's entitled to 4 cars, replaceable every 4 years. 1 man.
I'm Yemisi Adegoke, and I want to find out why some of our elders are having to fight for what is legally theirs.
You know, sometimes this is a BBC honestly, I like what they do. You know, most of you can go on, I mean, I can play a little bit more so that we'll have insight, but the wickedness that exists in government and in us, because it's not enough to only blame the government all the time, it's us. Sometimes I feel that we are a wicked people. How can our greed, insatiable greed.
Healthcare worker for 27 years and paid into the pension plan. When she retired last year, August, her pension payments never came through.
Life is no money, no nothing, and I cannot do anything. I cannot take care of my family. My aged mother is there. I cannot take care of her.
And, you know, sorry, I have to pause this. I'm taking the questions. I look at Ekwam. He made a very salient point. He said that after this whole thing, Nigerians, those that are basically doing this, some of them are deacons in church. Some of them are the front seaters. And the funny thing is, you see a civil servant judiciously paying tithe. If maybe he steals in a month 10 million, 5 million, and he will go. And the pastor will be Urobo Rabarabar Kawasaki Yamaha Digi Digi Daga Daga. Nobody questions the source of wealth. Again, if you don't like it, you can move away, but the truth must be told. It can hurt, but we are part of the problem as well. How can we tolerate you see someone who has nothing? I mean, today something actually crossed my mind. Some of my Igbo brothers won't like it. Today, for the first time, I was actually sitting. I was reading, where's my book? I was reading, trying to, being slow in reading this, The Coming Anarchy, a book I bought, recommended to me by Professor Pato to me, The Coming Anarchy. And it's, reading that book is scary. And while I was reading it, a thought came to me. How are we not only paying attention, because we are so focused on the government, but a lot of things happening that we as individuals and communities should actually address. We are not. We are not. I remembered how the music by Oliver De Kokwe, then he starts naming people as of that time, 1991, 92, we knew they were all 419ers. He will start Chief Maurice Ibekwe, this person Jati, this person, praising people that actually contributed to the decadence in the society. And we think it's far-fetched. We think it's far-fetched. Today, it actually occurred to me, one flavor song. Somebody I just on what's it called? This social media, Instagram. One girl was just dancing. That music this morning kind of slapped my brain a little bit on flavor. They say, Ebunite Cash, some of you help, I don't know, onye na-ekwe na ọ ga-ekwe or whatever. Onye na-ekwe na ọ ga-ekwe, agwa ya na ọ ga-ekwe, blah, blah, blah. Ebunite Cash, aga n'enu. You know, the thing that does to us is, the damage that does is generational. It will take a long time to cure. You and I, we have children. We go to party now when COVID is lifted. And the kids are watching you. They will grow up thinking it is right to be, if I come to your wedding, I want to give you 50,000. No, I won't. I want to give you 10,000. I won't. No, rather, it's better to go and use 100,000. Just throw it up as if our brains are now departed us. I'm not departing from the conversation, but the conversation remains that the society we are abusing today, the society, that's one of the favorite quotes I take from my good brother and my good friend, former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, is he always tells me this: the society we abuse today will take its toll on us tomorrow. Me, I'm adding this one. By the time the society that we have abused today will start taking its toll on us tomorrow, we might be too weak to even resist. Imagine today you go to your villages. Because we have brainwashed generations not to think critically, to believe that there is one thing called magic pen. Go to party, buy magic pen, go to exam. Babalawo will give you, you write and you pass. Imagine that person who wrote the exam with magic pen eventually becomes a doctor. And you go there and tell him you have hernia. I want my appendicitis operated. Is he not going to forget that? Or is he going to operate you with magic pen? Or is he not going to forget that magic pen in your tummy? The society that you are now abused today will take its toll on us tomorrow. What I was talking about, flavor here is, that song, Glorification, and hence what made me join Charles Obu and Maka Atama when they celebrated the legend Michael Jagger, because he's the only man that in all his 50 years of playing music, 50 years plus, he never praised any single person in all his music. And for me, that's a legend. Go back and listen to him, his music. He's talked about fairness. He talked about equity. He talked about justice. Go and listen to Omekago. Go and listen to Nnamdi Batame. All his songs, all details about morals. But it's always easy. Oh, it's APC, it's PDP, it's what, but it's never us. It's never us. It's never us that I'm driving my car. I came from Atinobi, heading to Ichida. At the traffic light, I stopped because it was red. The keke knocked on top of my car. This foolish man, move all this car here. What? And I'm like, you see, the insanity is infectious. Me obeying traffic because knowing that it's red, other people will come. I thought it was Anambra. In Enugu, from coming from, what's it called, Chim Avenue, on my right, heading to Independent Law, towards Government House. I think there is a police, no, is it a police station? But, if you're in Chim Avenue, before you get to Upper Chima, on your right, me, again, stopping, looking at red. And Okada, everybody, pee, go school. And I thought, what manner of madness do we, I don't know. Honestly, sometimes, but let's think about this. The society we abuse today will take its toll on us. While I do like that flavor, his music, this is not to say that, but I think attention, flavor, if ever gets to what I think attention should be placed on some of the lyrics because of our generations. We cannot be seen to be promoting this manner of things. Ebute cash, onye na-ekwero na aga ekwetara. This kind of, and that's the thing that drives young men. If you tell them anything, they will say, you see young men now in daylight. I saw one video, I think it's Obalende, sitting on top of Obalende Bridge, with the red cloth, having a shower. The other time they went to a grave, having a shower. Now believing, oh, that's if they cut us soap. This is a new one, they cut us soap. It's believing they cut you soap, you go shower, you make money. How? How would you make money? With which, who will print the money that you make? Don't you know that money have cereal? Are you the federal government that will print money and dinner? Anyway, let me continue, John.
When she reached out to the pension office, she was told to pay money to get her papers moving, which she did, but nothing happened.
So I am just like that, stranded.
Her son, Obaji, who has been supporting her financially, agreed to secretly film any further interactions he had with the pensions office on her behalf. He arranged a meeting with an official called Angela Etta. She described their meeting as a visit to a temple, and she wanted an offering.
Then they call this place shrine. You know, say when you go shrine, you must drop something.
You see, okay, look at it now. The government is not there. Look at the papers on this person's listen. I once was asking a very, very top person in old NEPA when they moved them to PSN. I came to his office in Abuja and I saw piles, heaps of paper. And I'm like, what was this papers doing here? They were that time, I think, during Aerofy, when BPE or whatever have done digitalization. That's what I used to doing with papers. It's email. You can do workflows and email approval, and you approve stuff, and it goes. Look at the paper now. Look at that paper on that desk. We cannot digitalize these biometrics or whatever. Jesus, I mean, we are smart people, for Christ's sake. We are smart people.
No one actually uses the word bribe, but it seems that payment is expected. Payment to a government worker whose job it is to pay out pensions.
Okay, let me see what I have here.
Obaji does what he's expected to do.
4, 5. Okay. For the shrine.
Now, you see what he said for the shrine. And this is the type of thing I ask. I want every Nigerian. Listen, please, but again, be smart. Let us, listen. If you don't have a platform to publish, then send me. Because we must somehow, in your state, in your local government, if you can, even if it means putting your phone like this, while it is on recording, putting it that it will record nobody, even if it means audio alone, this thing must somehow stop. And it's let people look at this woman now collecting, was it 5,000 or anything, for virtually doing nothing, just a job that she ought to have done, ab initio. I see people arguing here about Fela, and I'm like, Fela is not only a legend. In January, I was in Lagos. I took Uber where I can, get into Jibo. If I needed to get to, what's it called, Amuodofin. But you understand Lagos, you know that, man, as long as you don't have your own car, you got to know when to use car, when to use keke, and when to use Okada if you are on speed. But one thing struck me because I had my earpod, I was listening to Fela. If you now come to that roundabout, the other one goes to Munshin, and they'll be listening to Foju Elegba, motor they come from East. It felt like while trying to get an Okada that's already been banned, but some of them were still running illegal when you get towards the bridge, Foju Elegba. And I was like, standing there for a moment, I was like in a trance. It was as if Fela was there with me, telling me, motor they come from East, so I go just turn. Motor they come from West, I just turn. And through car, coming from the other side, car coming from here, and you know the legend himself, policeman day for center, through, traffic warders day for center. And what were they doing? Confusion. A man that lived thousands of years ahead of his time. While he was shouting, everybody was talking, I feel like they wear pants, I feel like they smoke Igbo. You wear no smoke Igbo, what happened? Alpha.
Thank you very much. You've done well.
Thank you so much.
We've heard similar stories of pension corruption at all levels and across Nigeria. And in fact, in 2019, 400 billion naira was owed to pensioners across the country.
When you retire, is like you are in.
And the worst one is now that even this Boroboro government is now going into the to the remaining pension pot to dip hand and borrow their pension. Hey.
Hellfire. You are no more a human being again.
We then heard of another way retirees are being denied their money. I'm on my way to meet a man who's dead, according to the state.
You need to be screened to confirm that you are alive and not dead. It's okay, we are ready.
When Ogar Gabriel retired from teaching in 2000, he received his pension regularly until 2020 when it suddenly stopped. Cross River State had decided Mr. Gabriel, like over 1,000 other people in the state, either didn't exist or was dead.
I, Franca, Agbede Eniton Enoch.
To get his pension, he'd have to convince the Auditor General, Mrs. Franca Enoch, seen here at her inauguration, that he was alive.
Now, they are making this man to go, and you ask yourself, do we have sawdust here that we cannot find a way to go to this man?
Seeing me physically present before you is more than sufficient proof that this person is alive, is not dead. A dead man cannot be talking to you like that.
Another reason he was confident it would be easy to prove he was alive was because he'd known the Auditor General since she was a little girl.
I called her name, but Franca Ode. Remember, I am the one before you. Your own elder brother, your uncle used to call me uncle.
According to him, the Auditor General was furious that he had tried to use a personal relationship to advance his case, and she demanded an apology before reconsidering his application. We heard stories like this over and over again from all across the state. Pensioners, old, sick, and out of money, waiting for the Auditor General. Eventually, they had enough, and on the 3rd of November 2020, they started a protest.
Old people, some paralyzed, some cannot even talk like I'm talking. Some cannot move at all.
So where does this issue originate? Fake or ghost pensioners are a real problem in Nigeria, and the adding of fictitious names to the payroll is one of the ways that money is stolen from government funds. Sometimes there are more fake pensioners than real ones.
A state that cannot have more than 3,000-4,000 pensioners have 10,000.
Jerry Uwa is a finance and business journalist familiar with the problem of pension fraud, but he doesn't think the culprits are ordinary people like Mr.
No, that is what I'm saying. They are the evil servants. You know what it means? That some of these things in the higher grades, 14, 15, 16 or whatever, they have names. Suddenly, one of them, they will say you don't die. But someone is still claiming that money.
Oga.
Somebody will add names of non-existent pensioners. They will pay those ghost pensioners immediately, and the money goes into their pockets. It's not something that a clerk can do, because it will be discovered. It's right up there.
When trying to eliminate ghost pensioners, it shouldn't take weeks, months, or years to work out who is alive and who isn't. I'm in Okele, which is a community in Yala, where last October, this list was published with over 300 names of people declared dead, and as a result, their pension payments stopped.
99% of the persons there are still alive.
A local community leader takes me to meet some of those on the list of dead people.
Ladies.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cletus.
You can imagine, look at where the old man lives. He served a nation that did not appreciate you. And now the only thing can say is that you're dead.
So your name here is on this list, sir, that says that you are dead. That's the list.
I'm not dead, madam.
I can see that you're alive. So this is your national ID card.
Yes, madam.
And this is your name on this list of people that are supposedly dead. Here's your ID confirming you are who you say you are.
Mr. Cleese.
And the funny thing is that you would, if you go and check in the payment, in the payroll, you will see that this man has been receiving this money. Even the man that they've told you is dead is receiving money. That money is going out.
To stop getting his pension in June last year.
They have not paid me anything.
So how have you been surviving?
But I'm managing with my dad, my small farm. My children, they were in school. Now I've stopped them because I have no money.
He has been to the pensions office in Calabar 5 times. It's about a day's journey and he has nowhere to stay the night when he goes, so he sleeps outside.
Captain, it's a pleasure.
Good evening. I can see that your name is here on this list of ghosts. It says that you're a ghost pensioner, but here you are, alive.
Yes.
ID card, your voter's card.
She shows us her voter's card and it appears to be the same woman who is alive and standing in front of me.
It's my bank statement.
But it's been nearly 2 years since she last received her pension. While some pensioners are struggling to get the money they're owed, there is a group of Nigerians who can expect a bit more from retirement. Politicians. Because Nigeria is run on a federal system, each state gets to decide a lot of its own laws, which is handy if you run the state.
No to political. You see the thing here, we all blame, we can blame ourselves, we can blame politicians, but at the same time, you find out the structure, we are saying the structure is not good, restructure or break it or whatever, but even in the states, the little they were given to manage, even in the local government, nothing to write about.
Like Lagos State, the governor is entitled to 2 houses, one in Lagos, one in Abuja, in a location of his choice. That's what law says.
Goodness.
Then he's entitled to 300% of his basic as pension. He's entitled to 4 hours, placeable every 4 years. One man. And that same state that is doing so much for one man is owing thousands of pensioners 3 years of pension that has not been paid.
Back in Calabar, where we started our investigation, Mrs. Akpet, Mr. Gabriel and Mrs. Mburo are finally receiving their pensions. The sudden change in their status is unexplained, though not all have been paid the thousands and thousands of naira they lost.
See, the funny thing, the journalists also make me laugh. It feels like you're not a Nigerian. Someone who was taking their money didn't even vomit it. And that's where these things will not stop, because no one is interested in looking really into who does this, why did he do it, how can we punish you. All they say, we've started paying you. Even the woman in question, if you tell her, Mama, I want to help you to fight this, you say, please, my son, please, I don't want you to. Yeah, as long as they are paying, even let them keep the old one they have, as long as they start today. So you see that you know, we've been beaten, abused so much that things that we ought not to ever think of accepting has become part of our life. Things that ordinarily you should never, ever think of accepting it. It's become part of our life. Nobody. I remember during the time of Okorocha, a woman sent me a letter from the government saying they reduced our salary, our pension by so. I mean, it looked absurd, but again, I couldn't run with it. I said, Mama, can you grant me an interview? This woman knelt down, telling me, please, Mazi, please, Allah Putakwana, please don't expose me, please. Let me be, even if they are giving us 40%, let me be taking it. Then I asked myself, how can we fight a system? Because there are narratives that when you say them, it is easy, people can come and start blackmailing you. Yeah, Mazi called me maybe to request 50 million and I said I won't give, and they announced. I mean, it's easy for them to, fabricate something. But here is a situation where collectively we could maybe not, but at least we could make an impact. If every one of us begin recording this nonsense, if you don't have the platform, like I keep saying, send me, I will publish them. Because it makes me sick.
Due to their pensions being illegitimately withheld for so many months. Efika Cletus still has not been paid any of his pension and has no idea when or if he ever will. Despite years of promises of change from the very top, we found the pension system still hampered by incompetence and corruption, causing devastation in the lives of elderly and vulnerable Nigerians. We put the findings of our investigation to Mrs. Angela Etta, Mrs. Franca Enoch, and Governor Ben Ayode of Cross River State and asked for their comments.
Nothing.
They have not responded.
Exactly. God bless you. God bless you, BVC, for this. I mean, again, how many of us will be able to go do these findings? That's why sometimes when I go to states, right, so I want to look at an infrastructure, I don't know. I've been to Abia State many times. When they hear Mazi, you came to Abia State, but why didn't you tell us? I keep laughing. I say, why should I tell you? Do I have any business with you? Or I'll go to I need to. I just want to see what is happening. And I know I have a fan base, people like you, sustaining, watching, following me, that we need to basically start saying, this is what is happening. This is what is happening. And you agree with me that, these things just, like I said before, imagine any of us have these children that are being taken away, and the government is not doing anything. There is nothing the government is doing to actually find these children. Or if they are doing anything at all, we can confidently say that this, whatever they are doing, is not good enough. Is not nothing to say that, because this is the truth. It's not good enough. I just think what's it called again? Is it Deji or whatever? Deji was, I saw one of their protest videos today, where he was basically looking at some of these things and they were protesting for. And, it hurts me when someone is then out there sacrificing, protesting for people he never met, people he never knew. And some of us will be making comments and saying, why are they doing X, Y, Z? Everything must not be about individuals. Everything must not be about, oh, this person is this person is the other one. We are humans. It is about us collectively. It is about us. In conclusion, and here we have a man telling us that this is what they want to do. And this is a man telling us that in 2014, that this was the best they can give us that same man is telling us in 2021 that the same person is
Period of their own
think about it.
challenges.
Think about it.
When America was challenged, they turned to one great man, their ex-military general, General Eisenhower. Correct? When French was challenged, they turned to their general, Charles de Gaulle. When Britain was challenged, they turned to their great general, Winston Churchill. Correct? Today, Nigeria is challenged, economically challenged, physically challenged, security challenged. Who do we turn to? General Muhammad Buhari is the right man for the job. If you talk of military experience, he has it abundantly. If you talk of courage, he has it abundantly. If you talk of simplicity, he has it abundantly. If you talk of great determination, a combination of vision and ability to perform, honesty and integrity, he has it abundantly.
Now, listening to this and reading the topic, where he has, told you that he was going to stop them, he was going to do this, do the other one. Yet, 6 years later, you're not secured. You're not more secured than you were a couple of years back. And the same man is coming out today to tell you Nigeria will feel safe under the same person. And he's talking about it as if Buhari is to be elected the Nigerian president. He has been elected twice, tested, juxtaposed that with the position that you were before and now. You ask yourself that simple question. Because I want us, if not for anything, only thing I ask us is that we begin to engage our brains. Enough. Once bitten, twice shy. The video I was looking for is here. And you go back and look at people, they are telling you you're going to feel safe. Now tell me if these girls on these placards are safe. If they are going to be safe based on what you can see. Are they safe? Are they going to be safe? Anyway, I think the video doesn't want to play before that boots me out. On that note, people, I will say thank you very much for joining me this evening. I thought I would take some calls, but obviously the BBC video and its analysis made us exceed the time allotted. But nonetheless, do not despair. We will keep having these conversations. I think tomorrow I'm a guest to Joe Vickers, the Reverend Father in the United States. I'm a guest on his platform. I'll see if I can stream it here. But join me tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. on Joe Vicker TV. You can Google him. You can subscribe to his channel. And Joe Vicker on Facebook. And I think on YouTube, Joe, J-O-E, Vicar, V-I-C-A-R. On that note, I will say thank you very much for joining me and thank you for keeping faith. All I can tell us is we will continue. The struggle is not a 100-meter race. The struggle for our liberation is a marathon. We must continue. And while we are doing that, listen, it doesn't matter which direction someone is running from or running to. At the end of the day, we will get to the destinations. Let's not fight ourselves because we think this person is using different strategy or different approach. If we do, we're only giving room for the enemy to come in and destabilize us the more. On that note, I will say good night, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching me from. Remain blessed. Peace out. Thank you very much.